What is happening, dudes? Right now I'm testing out a new helmet. I got everything all set up in it. Hopefully everything works out all right. Just testing out, see how it sounds, see how the mic sounds with this helmet. You know, because there's a little bit of wind noise that comes into the helmet, but it's not horrible. It's not as bad as the reviews made it out to be. It's a Ruroc Atlas 2.0. Kind of gave into a lot of the hype. A lot of other motor vloggers, they got sent it. You know, the Ruroc sent this helmet to them, and you know, they all seem to give it pretty good reviews. I mean, I tried to find impartial ones that, you know, people had bought it themselves, and I couldn't find any. I just found a bunch where people had bought the first version, the 1.0, and the 1.0s were apparently they were just horrible. Yeah, it's really not a bad helmet at all. I mean, it's super comfortable on the inside, and it looks really nice on the outside. Like I said, time will tell. We'll see how, you know, the quality holds up. I really hope the quality holds up well. The thing that kind of concerns me the most is the little button that locks the crown padding. There's a little button that holds it in the back, holds it down. I'm not a huge fan of how they designed that, and it's really on one side. The other side works fine. You know, it holds it in place. But the one side, it kind of pops out of place every time I take the helmet off. Doing do a highway test here, an interstate test. Hoping the dead cat on the mic really, really deadens that sound, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll deaden a good portion of it. I mean, there's a good bit of wind noise. You know, it's not a quiet helmet, and I knew that going into it. A lot of people have said it's not a quiet helmet because it's so light. I generally listen to music anyway, and I can still listen to music using my Cardo Packtalk, so it's not a big deal to me as long as I can hear my music. So my mom and I went to a shooting class this morning. She's been wanting to get her concealed carry license. I've had mine for a few years now. We got her a little .22 pistol. We got that for her for Mother's Day. She wanted somebody to go with her, and I shoot a lot. I mean, I love shooting. Told her I'd go with her. So we went to this class. It was $45 to go in. If I'd have known what we were getting into, I wouldn't have paid the $45, and I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have gone in there. I just would not have. The instructor was super nice guy, super nice. He was not exactly worried about safety, and that kind of concerns me as a firearms safety instructor. Yeah, that's something like a quality you think somebody should have. You know, this guy checks, you know, he had to check all of our firearms at the door because you brought your own firearm in to practice with. He checks them all, makes sure none of them are loaded, which is great. And we all sit down, and, you know, they check it one more time. They checked it about 6 or 7 times. Well, then it comes to the point where they put us in a semicircle around the room, and he stands right in the middle of that semicircle. This man, to describe how to aim your firearm, this man told us to point at him with our firearms. Yes, they were unloaded. Yes, we checked them 100 times, but that still does not, you never point the gun at anything you don't wish to destroy. He never taught anybody muzzle discipline. That is a #1 thing, is muzzle discipline. Another thing is we had so many students in there, and he had hardly any help, so he obviously couldn't see people with horrible trigger discipline. He said it once. He said, "Don't touch the trigger unless you're ready to shoot." He said it once. Then proceeding to tell us all to point at him and then pull the trigger. I obviously was not pointing the gun at him when he asked us to. I decided to point a little left to him. I was not a huge fan of that. Anyway, a man and a woman was right in front of me, a husband and a wife. They were in front of us getting signed in. They told the instructor, said, "Hey, you know, this guy is going to be helping us out today. You know, they knew each other somehow. I don't know." Come to find out, that man that was in front of us very rarely shot any firearms in his life. They're actually going and checking, and you know, right before we actually started pointing the guns at him, they went around and checked the firearms one more time, of course. And as he's trying to figure out how to release the slide of this firearm, he is yanking the crap out of that slide, trying to, you know, he's saying, oh, it's stuck, which is whatever. It could have been stuck, I don't know. But the issue I had was, while he's pulling the slide back, he's got his finger on the trigger. In general, safety is not always my top concern, but firearms, man, the firearm safety needs to be taught in schools. Take a PE class, you know, even if it's for a day, get them in a room with firearms, have them, you know, understand that these are not toys, these are dangerous tools that can get people killed and get themselves killed. Like I said, man, it was such a ridiculous experience. So I pulled off a little bit to explain the firing range at this class. Okay, because this is almost a very close representation. See, this is all a field, a hay field, and that's where we were. We stood over here in the hay field, and we were probably at where the guardrail is, and the targets were probably on the other side of the road. We were pointing at a bank like this. There is a road behind the targets, so we had to stop probably 4 times. We had to stop shooting because people were driving on this road. While some people were shooting, some people were keeping eye on the road. So if somebody came up the road, which they did at least 4 times, and they yelled, "Cease fire, cease fire!" And so we had to stop shooting. I can't fathom the stupidity in all of this. It was so ridiculous. I really need to get my license to be an instructor for myself and start teaching these classes. If I can get $45 a pop for people coming in so I can teach them just a tiny bit better than this guy did, man, I'd be raking in the cash. So anyway, that was my day in a nutshell, dealing with stupid people at a gun class that I learned absolutely nothing. At least I got to shoot, you know, and that's kind of what I was, you know, wanting to, is like, I was like, you know, I'll just at least go out there and practice. So anyway, that was my day. We're gonna wrap it up, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.